and free your mind. Inspired about me and the you. Information. Connect the dots. Big picture. Conscious. About me and the you. Knows. Information. Connect the dots. Big picture. Conscious.
Welcome to the lecture. It's in our hands. Well, as you see, my name is Ronald Bernard. Ronald Bernard, well, it's how you pronounce it. And I will share a little bit about my life. My whole life, I'm an entrepreneur. My background is a bit of psychology, engineering, economy, theology, and I was also a bankster. A bankster means I was in the finance world as a top criminal. I did asset management, currency and deposit trading. And out of this profession, in the end of my days, the last 5 years, I was serving the top of the top in this world, the most richest people on earth, to serve them in their program Sasha was talking about. You can see already the picture of the banksters, because for them it's really a game. It's an agenda, but it's a game. So when we were creating wars or duality, diseases or conflicts, whatever, it's just making profit, only profit. It's sucking your energy. And we did a lot of speculation, gambling, because sometimes humans are so unpredictable. But the most of the game was a well-known agenda. We knew already the outcome of what we were creating in this world. But I brought with me a picture about the financial structure. And in the top, you see the golden triangle. That's the people I work for. And they are 8 till 8,500 people. A few hundred years ago, they start to develop a banking structure system who control the human race to enslave them. And here, in this picture, you see the top of the banking system is the Bank of International Settlements in Switzerland. You have the central banks, and here, the most important one for them is the mechanism of the banks themselves. And below that, you see the multinationals, and you see there the governments. And the governments are the connection between the real world. This is the real world with people, planet, and all the living things. Because there, in the planet, are the real values. In the world I come out, there are no ethics and no morals at all. Everything was allowed to fulfill the agenda they have. And the agenda they're running is from the Bible. They're following the revelations of the Bible, the prophecies of the Bible. Maybe they are the only ones who are following the Bible in a very serious way. And they are quite on track with their agenda. On the left you see all the mechanisms they use, like armies, laws, rules, police forces, and so on, to keep us below. And on the right side, you see how they are taking out all the value via the banking system to the top, to become richer, richer, and richer. And now they have 99.99% of all the wealth in the planet. One of the mechanisms to transfer the wealth is explained in my second interview, and it's in YouTube online. There I explain everything about the transfer of wealth to the top. But one of the main mechanisms, is charging interest on the loans. And here you can see that 80% of all the citizens of this world are paying their whole life interest to the banks. to pay the loan and the interest. And 10% of the people are not paying, it's break even, like they receive a bit and they pay a bit, and 10% of the interest is really collecting. And you can see it in here in the right picture. There you can see the curve, like in the pyramid. This is the whole world population, and here the blue one is where all the wealth is going via the interest system. And even in the consumer prices, so in everything you buy, hidden is 40 to 45% of interest. So if you stop paying interest worldwide, prices are reducing. So again, if you are interested in how they transfer all the wealth in a legal way, then please watch part 2 of my interviews. There everything is explained, and also on one of the websites I will show you later. Now I speed up. I don't hang too long in the wealth structures and transfer structures and the old world. I want to go in the direction of solutions like we have demonstrated already. So welcome for my second life as a socially responsible entrepreneur, and get ready for real change. And maybe it's better I take the hammer with me to express that. I'm not hitting anyone. For me today, the symbol of real change, because it's doing, not talking. It's about the rise of, for and by the people worldwide. That's what I'm talking about. We don't do it for less. We, the people, are the real change, no one else. You saw it already with the mobile. We have the power. If we don't use anything, like if you go for your car refueling with gasoline by Shell, Shell is destroying the Nigeria deltas. If we are united in diversity and we decide as people we won't refuel our tank of the car in the gas stations of Shell, Shell can close. So it's based on our free will. We consumers can decide how the world looks like. So if we start using the 2G and developing new technology to communicate with each other, we can leave the path of the 4G and the 5G, and then there is no point of rolling it out because no one is using it. So let's go for the first step of liberation. We developed the Declaration of Peace for all the world citizens, to put your free will and your voice on the map. It's an invitation to you all who are listening and watching to read and sign the Declaration of Peace if you agree with it. It's the first step to liberate all the inner children and the children. The central mission is a good stewardship of all life. The Declaration will promote unity and diversity. The Declaration is the new blueprint for all life. It will bring prosperity, well-being, and inner peace. Behind me you can see the United People website, United People Foundation. There is one page, you can see it on the left, where the blue arrow is. There you can click on the movement, because the Declaration of Peace is a part of the movement, the worldwide movement who is growing now. And on this page of the movement, you see here all kinds of pages about the blueprint in new, new financial system, new tax system, new social security, new democracy. Well, it goes on and on and on. Even the new Declaration of Human Rights, because forget the one of the United Nations, we have it arranged for ourselves. And within the movement, we also created a young division. Why? Almost half of the world population is younger than 25, and they don't have any voice. And that's crazy, because they are the future. They have no voice. And when they are old, they have a voice, but they don't have the energy anymore to change anything. So I have a premiere today for the world public. We will introduce two of the representatives of the Young Division, who will also give a short speech here. So The second step to liberation is the movement Young Division, Our Future.
It's time we take back our power. As a species, we are living in very, very interesting times. Industrialization, globalization, and digitalization have changed the face of the earth. The many peoples of the earth have been connected in ways we could never have dreamed possible a mere 100 years ago. And with the advent of the World Wide Web, we can say that the world is literally at our fingertips. Yet as humanity learned to bend the external world to its will, our inner world simply could not keep up with the advances in technology. As a wise man once said, our technological power has outrun our spiritual power. We have guided missiles and misguided men. As a product of this so-called information age, this age of connectivity, we have decided to, we have witnessed how we have as a species connected our minds, but not our hearts. It is time we take a stand against the forces of destruction that plague humanity from within and without. And as part of the United People Movement Young Division, we wish to spread awareness surrounding the many injustices on our planet.
As it stands today, we find ourselves in a world in which power and control have been increasingly centralized. And Axel Novick reported that 8 people own more of the wealth than the poorest half of humanity. And this while many of the billions of our population are fighting for the little money that is not in the hands of the extremely wealthy. What we see of this is that we are scrambling to get a hold of basic necessities such as water, food, electricity, and housing and education. And for now, it is time for us to ask questions, time to take a stand. How can it be that so many people are working so hard and at the end they are left with so little? How come that it is, that money is worshipped and that suffering is seen all around us? Why are we allowing this to happen? What we see at the most is fear and the greed that is taking up all these resources. Banks have hijacked the human value of our society by lending money and charging interest over that money. And this brings a perpetual cycle of scarcity where humanity is forced to compete against itself and to make ends meet. And where money once was a means, has now become our enslavement. Because we gave up our ability to create money, the tool we define value with, our ability to create was transferred from the hands of many to the hands of a few. Where institutions once were made to serve the people, they have now become to serve themselves. The banks, governments, and corporations have become so corrupted beyond repair that money has become debt, freedom has become dependency, and creation has become consumption, and the truth has become lies.
And as we gave away our world, our freedom, our creativity, the flames of truth slowly died within us. Yet if there's one thing I've learned in my very short life, it is that the truth can never be stopped. It has become abundantly clear how the crisis we face as a species is not of the materialistic kind, but one of the spiritual kind. As a supposedly failed generation, we've watched with a watchful eye as mankind sacrifices humanity for a system of monetary enslavement. A system in which our humanity, our value as human beings has been reduced to mere numbers on a screen. A system where competition is the norm and any means is justified for the pursuit of profit. A system where people live to work and work to die. we find that a global industry of suffering has emerged of truly cataclysmic proportions. From all the wars we fight, to the drugs we push, to the lies we face, to the money we chase, we have lost ourselves and each other. We've gained the world, but we have lost our heart. A human being competing in the human race. We are so busy consuming that we have forgotten that we have consumed ourselves and the planet we call home. We have lost our nature within and are destroying it without. Please tell me, please, why did we allow this to happen? Why are we allowing this to happen? And will we be continuing this? Will we be continuing to allow this to happen? If you ask me, it is time for change. For too long have we waited for change, whilst we waited in vain for our governments, corporations and the banks to respond to our needs as human beings. It is time we stop waiting for change and become the change we wish to see in the world ourselves. To start taking responsibility for our thoughts, feelings and actions. For change is the only constant, and it is the choices we make every day that contribute a meaningful impact in the world in which we live. And as we grow more aware of our own and our collective flaws as a species, we are creating the possibilities for true change. It is time we start representing ourselves as we represent this generation.
And with over 3.2 billion people below the age of 25, we represent almost half of all humanity. Time is on our side, and so is the future. So join United People Movement and the Young Division, and so that we may take our first steps, taking back our power. To recognize our value. To recognize our value as humans beyond money. To create abundance within and without, to build a society in which we work together instead to create an environment where we compete to consume. Yet before we can change the world, we must first change ourselves to become aware, take responsibility and take action.
Thank you very much. That was the Young Division. That's coming up as well. So we're going further because of the 3.2 billion people who are younger than 25. They are the future. So the third step to liberation is stop feeding the old system. You can see it in the picture very clear. Watch the man in the blue on the left side. If they all go, the old system is gone. So who is in power? Who is in charge? So if the 3.2 billion young people are stepping on my door, and I means you, because I'm just the other you, will guide them in the new world we create. And the main thing you have to do is actually quite simple. And that's making an insert, a cut in the power structure they have set up in a few hundred years. If you change this banking system in the benefit of us, a financial platform owned by the people, for the people, you cut the lifeline of the old system. It's the main key for real change. You can try to change whatever you like, but at the moment you have the financial system in our hands, we have the main key for real change. It's already too late in time to do it otherwise, and this is the only way to do it peaceful. Otherwise we have to take our weapons and going in the war. You can visit a website of us, of our team. It's called beofjoy.net. And there you can read all about this main key, who is really needed to make the change happening. The peaceful way comes down to one thing. We have to create our own space worldwide. Fighting means going out of your space in the space and the direction of the old powers, and they will beat you. But creating your own space, it's only one. But if he starts to join me, we have a bigger space. If you start to join us, we get a bigger space. And we can set up this worldwide, this financial platform owned by us. And we create for the first time then worldwide a circular economy. Because now 95% of everything we consume is waste. Everything is nearly waste. It's consumed and thrown away. We are poisoning the whole planet, and we are taking out everything of the planet, like we are the servants of the vampires to kill and destroy everything. It also will be global, meaning worldwide and local, compressed in one word. The vision and mission are, you can guess it already, a good stewardship of all life. It's owned by the people with a return on investment and one vote a person. And we will have a circular management of raw materials and assets. Because that's the only way how you can change this whole chain of production and to get rid of all the waste, the lost material and everything. You can see where a raw material is who is needed in another place. You can manage it in short lines instead of flying bananas from South America to Europe and so on and so on. So it's real economics. It's high economics in global and local distribution. All banking service will be secured in blockchain technology. It will be done on the 4th generation of blockchain who can run on quantum computers. The 4th generation of blockchain technology is not created by secret services like the 1st generation. The 4th generation is in the hands of the people. Quantum computers are already existing. Official, it's already bought by NASA and by Google and other countries. And if we have collected more or less 20 million together, we have our own quantum computer who runs 100 million times faster than the fastest computer we have now. We want to exchange our energy by a coin, by some money. So the 4th generation blockchain can have 1 million transactions a second to start with. So we go to the 4th step to liberation. That's about collective investments. If you see, for example, in this picture, the world spent 1,735 billion on war in 2012. It would take approximately 135 million to totally eradicate poverty. That means that's 13 times cheaper than going to war. So are we all nuts? No, because we didn't have the power to invest. And that can change, and that will change now. Because no one wants to send his son or daughter to war. Evil prevails only when good people are doing nothing. So everybody buy a hammer. Scientists agree already for many years. We are destroying Earth. And the old powers, they don't care. They say yes. But it turns out that it's very profitable because they are the vampires who are sucking all the energy out of Earth system. So we have to create a collective, cooperative movement. And it's already created, but it needs to grow. Because if we have the financial platform in place, owned by us, then we can get these collective investments also operating, because then we, the people, start to decide what we will invest in our money. And based on a good stewardship of all life, we can invest in organic food, in clean, free energy, affordable housing, preventive healthcare, sufficient empowerment for all, innovation products and services, pure drinking and irrigation water, person, potential-oriented education to build up your flower instead of breaking you down and making you compatible with the matrix enslavement system. Yeah. So this is an example of our United People products. Since the hennep is now available on the market, they suppress it for more than 100 years. But now in the North of America Industry Hennep Council, they claim to make some 25,000 products already from hennep. And you see here a whole list, and actually it's about all the products we more or less need in our world, all based on hennep. So you see, for example, you even can make automobiles and all kind of fuels. You can see it's supporting things like farming and gardening. It's actually, we can together, we can choose what we want based on this hennep. And it's not poisoning our earth. Instead of that we use plastics, who are destroying all life on earth, like plastic oceans and so on. Hennep is natural, friendly. Another example is United People Healthcare. We will create all the divisions who are needed to serve us instead of we serving the systems. No, everything has to serve us. Our body is an electromagnetic biochemical machine. If we want, we can make a body regeneration with frequency trading and DNA reprogramming. All this technology sounds maybe a bit too far away, but it's not new. It exists already a long time. The old powers knows everything about humans and all their bodies, because we have more layers in our body. So, and about the DNA reprogramming, even Russian scientists have investigated this for many, many years, and it's really been proven that DNA can be reprogrammed. So think about, again, the 5G coming up, manipulating our DNA to destroy most of the humans, because they want to keep a selective group of self-thinking slaves. So if you are an aware person who can think independently and are sovereign, you can be now already on the list to stay alive. But we don't go that path. We will also invest in energy. It's the second pillar. After banking, energy is the second pillar of power. So all the money collected, we can decide we invest in what? In liquid hydrogen for fuel and energy storage? Or shall we invest in thorium, metal, 200 times more powerful than uranium, clean, cheap, and always available? Then we have no problems for a few 100,000 years. Or we dig in the dossiers, were still existing, of what Nikola Tesla was doing with his free energy technology, and all the other pioneers who are creating free energy. It all becomes down to liberation. So the fifth step to liberation is the collective facilitation. We have to do it. So all required banking software and more are available. And here you just see a few of the companies and products who are available. A payment application in development. We have to exchange our energy somehow. If you all choose to go for this one, we can make it available in 80 world languages and with real-time payments within a second. Access to all currencies who are now existing in the old world. One of the problems with blockchain technology now is that it's consuming a lot of energy, and we can reduce that energy consuming till 90%. And of course, very important, we are all the owner of this system. And it will have low international payment fees. And we can use it on all the available things we have, like the tablets, the PCs, and the PC supported and the laptop supported, and the ones who didn't destroy the smartphones, they can use it still on the smartphone, of course. So now we are going to the heart of the Bee of Joy, the payment application, the financial platform, everything what is involved. So in the first phase of implementation, we can exchange the euro for 1 euro. That's our coin. And euro stands, the first two letters, U and R, stays in Dutch, it stays for hours. And the A stays for, like in German, Arbeit. It is done by purpose to make you aware that we are the only value in the economic system. Our hours, our Arbeit, labor, produces value. If you dig sand out of the ground, producing glass, it gets a value. You can sell the glass for a house or whatever, a window. It's because of us. The euro, as an internal coin, needs to be digital and also cash money, physical money. Because cash money keeps us free, liberated forever, and they are heading in another direction. If you hang only on the digital, you're screwed. So with all the money coming in, collected by the people, owned by the people, it's still your money, but you collect it together. Oh, sorry. We have also a cooperative deposito system, so we can save, owned by the people, all the money we collect. It's very important to do it in our group, in our organization. So from the collected money, there you go to make the investments in small, middle enterprises instead of multinationals. The small and middle enterprises are responsible for the health of the economy for 90%. Below that, you see here the Pershing, an investment collective. If you are buying and investing in a collective, it can be much more cheap than you do it as a single person. This block of small, middle enterprises and purchasing and investment collectives are global and local, and they will have web shop, business guide, and marketplaces. So that makes it fully interactive with the world about what we want and what we need. And because we own this whole thing, out of buying and selling, profit will come. So as shareholders of our own company, every year we will share in equal parts of your share the profit. So that creates the real basic income in a healthy way. And this whole heart of Bee of Joy with all the dynamics and possibilities, of course, is available on mobiles, internet and ATM banking, because you need to get the cash out for payments. But again, you can read everything about it on the Bee of Joy website. Another very important one is this one. In one picture, you see the whole structure, how we can be connected as one in diversity. It's the heart of united people. Behind it, we create a software engine, LOA is the name, based on desires, because we have desires. LOA means the law of attraction. So in this LOA system, you have a start coming out of united people with a social network to find each other. Then, if you find each other and you are visiting the knowledge network, you become aware of things you didn't know before. So if all people worldwide start to share the real knowledge we have in a collection, connected with the social network who is interested in knowledge, being more aware, you also need to have the possibility to transfer this social network and knowledge to an action network. Like, let's go. We have to invest, so as a group, we start to do that. You have to facilitate that. And that will be, of course, supported by the Be of Joy network and the Jura network, who are supporting everything the people want based on the desire. And the main one in this whole network is the human connection. The one the young division was talking about, the heart connection. So about the human connection, the heart connection, it means we reconnect with ourselves, our inner, and with our outer world. And from there, we can connect with all the other networks who are run by the people. So that's how we can build up our community based on this kind of software. So out of all this business we are doing worldwide as people, creating a new world of abundance, we also have types of return on our investments. And we are always, that's the program, focused on the financial part, like what's in it for me. Well, the finance is, of course, important to have a stable value and a natural growth. At the moment we have the financial stabilized. We can also go for the good stewardship of all life because we have the money to invest for our earth and environment. At the moment you have the financial and ecological part as a human being in a collective, more or less in a better way arranged. You will notice that your emotions are getting also better. Depressions will disappear because the environment you live in is much better. And if you feel well, based on the new situation, you are much more open for connecting, trust and joy. If your neighbor is full of stress, he say, "Good morning," and he's gone. But if he is really comfortable, he will say, "Good morning, neighbor, how are you?" He starts to connect because he is emotional in a healthy condition based on the ecological and financial situation we create. So if you have the first three more or less arranged, you also will be more social. You will be more open for innovation and compassion. And compassion is another word for love. And with love, I don't say it's about having sex. That's something different. I have talking about real love for ourselves, for our human beings, and for the planet and everything what it lived on it. So don't underestimate this return. It's huge. Because we can change everything around us, but if we don't change ourselves, nothing will happen. So think twice about the tools we developed for a new world with a new financial main key system. So I'm nearly there. The sixth step to liberation. What is needed? We need signatories of the Declaration of Peace because it's your voice, your free will you put on the map. And if we do this together worldwide, nobody will stop us. Like we agree now to buy the 4G and the 4.5, we agree. We buy it volunteering. Nobody is putting a gun on your head. This is a universal law respected by the old world. Our free will is holy. We decide for ourselves what to do. And that makes the Declaration of Peace so important. Also important, the Young Division, who needs more members. So the 2.3 billion, hey, join. But also the United People Movement need members. An internet banking permit is also needed. Because we are coming out of this old world, transferring ourselves in a new world we create. If you come out of the old world, it's like you have a car, you need a driver's license. If you have the driver's license, you are allowed in the old world to drive it. With the banking permit, it's the same. We are coming out of the old world and making the transition to a new world where you don't need a driver's license. There are also needed 10,000 Be of Joy co-owners and or 60,000 Be of Joy supporters, ambassadors, donors, promoters and volunteers, because we can't do it alone. More than 7,100 early adopters in quite some countries will welcome you in our manifestation. So like the Young Division said already, be the change you like to see in this world, because it's in our hands. So thank you for watching and listening to my lecture. If you are interested in it, you can see here on the screen UnitedPeopleFoundation.org and beofjoy.net, and you find on the Be of Joy this button, the Join Us green button, and you can't miss it because on the whole website it's at least 26 times. We present to you today was a real blueprint for the whole world. It's guiding us out of this world as we know it now. And I represent the children of this planet. So I do it for them, and my team is willing to do it for them too. So now I would like to invite the whole world to join, to create in a few years, and it's doable, a new world we own. Don't be afraid anymore. Please, if you have a moment, can we hold hands? If you feel not to do it, it's fine too. Now it's literally in your hands. Thank you.
Wake up inside and free your mind. Inspired about the me and the you. Truth. Information. Connect the dots. Big picture. Conscious. Who knows?